From the Massachusetts Broadcasters Station of the Year, this is Western Mass News at 6 p.m.
An 84-year-old Granby man is found dead in his home over the weekend. I'm Caroline Powers. Coming up, we speak exclusively to neighbors about his murder.
And residents in one Western Mass community upset over a proposed damage release for a natural gas pipeline. Why they say it could have the potential to harm property owners.
Also, with many illnesses now going around, we're getting answers whether it's best going to urgent care or directly to the hospital. As the investigation continues into the murder of a Granby man, we're hearing exclusively from his neighbors. Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Beth Ward. Western Mass News reporter Caroline Powers joins us live from Granby with the latest. Caroline?
Beth and Chris, neighbors tell me that 84-year-old Reginald Sanford lived in his Pleasant Street home for more than 50 years. They are shocked and saddened to hear the news of his murder.
I still can't believe it.
Gerald and Linda Robert have lived on Pleasant Street, across from Reginald Sanford's house, for more than 50 years.
He's a good guy. He was in the Marines. He was an auto body man. He retired from Geno's Auto Body quite a few years ago. And after that, he was pretty much at home, taking care of all his lawn and his plants and shrubs and everything. He liked to do that.
The couple tell Western Mass News they noticed police activity at his home late Sunday afternoon, but never expected to hear that Sanford was murdered.
I can't believe what's going on. Don't know.
It's scary. It's very scary. He wasn't that kind of a guy, no, straightforward always.
Police say 28-year-old Ayanna Torres from Holyoke admitted to stabbing Sanford during an argument. His body was found with severe lacerations and significant blood loss following a well-being check Sunday afternoon. Evidence at the scene links Torres to the murder, and she was formally charged Tuesday.
We've been here 60 years, and that has not ever happened in this neighborhood before.
Court documents say that Torres does have a violent criminal history, including incidents with cutting instruments. She is being held without the right to bail and is scheduled to be back in court in early February. Live in Granby, I'm Caroline Powers for Western Mass News.
Caroline, thanks for that. Residents in Agawam are speaking out about a natural gas pipeline project planned for Suffield Street. The Tennessee Gas Pipeline Company wants to put more than 2 miles of pipeline in the ground next to already existing gas pipelines in that same area.
Well, tonight, the City Council will decide whether or not to approve a deal negotiated by town officials with Tennessee Gas. It's a deal residents say could put them in danger. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us live from Agawam with this exclusive story. Audrey?
I'm in front of Agawam Junior High, where at 7 the City Council is set to meet on this issue. The doors opened at 6 o'clock. Now, I spoke with residents, and they tell me their biggest concern with what the town negotiated with Tennessee Gas is something called the damage release, which they fear could release the gas company from any liability should damage occur during the project. The looping project would allow the Tennessee Gas Pipeline Company to install 2.1 miles of new pipeline on Suffield Street. That pipeline would go into the ground next to 2 existing pipeline systems. Ed Checky, a property owner who didn't want to show his face on camera, claims the old pipelines and the new project cross his land.
For Agawam residents, it's all risk and no reward.
The project would also allow Tennessee Gas to upgrade their compressors and technology. But the piece of the project that's alarming to residents like Ed, the damage release agreement negotiated by the town with the gas company.
To release liability for something that hasn't happened yet. I mean, that gave them blanket.
Western Mass News obtained a copy of this agreement. According to the language, the agreement releases and discharges Tennessee Gas from all liabilities therefor, in exchange for $150,000 paid to the town. It covers potential harm done to crops, timber, and any and all resulting damages to the properties resulting from the pipeline project. Resident Susan Grossberg fears the agreement's vague language, if approved by the City Council, could leave Agawam's land vulnerable.
As a litigation attorney, this is something I would never have advised any of my clients to sign on to release damages for something that hasn't even occurred.
That's just not the case.
Western Mass News brought these concerns to Agawam Mayor William Sapelli, who spoke with us over the phone. Sapelli says the damage release agreement relates only to the $150,000 to be paid by Tennessee Gas to the town. Sapelli says the agreement prohibits the company from trying to change the dollar amount, but doesn't give them a free pass to damage property.
It was a faulty pipe and there was some kind of explosion. That's not letting them off the hook for that.
And you're confident that a judge would see it that way, too?
Well, that's what my legal team here told me, that was just relating to the sale of the property. When somebody's negligent, they're negligent.
But with the deadly 2018 Lawrence gas explosion still fresh in residents' minds, they say any project concerning natural gas brings worst-case scenarios to mind.
I'll be dead when it explodes. They'll be fishing my body out of the river. If there's ever a problem, I won't even know it happened.
Now, I reached out to Tennessee Gas for a statement, but they declined to comment on this matter. The city council says that tonight only serves as an opportunity for them to either approve or decline that damage release to the tune of $150K. The councilors tell me they do not have the power or the authority to halt the project. They say that lies in the hands of federal regulators. Live in Agawam, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Seasonably cold day today. We're back into the low 20s this evening. We're at 21 in Springfield. Teens as you go into some of the eastern slopes of the Berkshires, 15 in Charlemont, already down into the single digits for North Adams. So we have another cold night ahead. But the good news is that's the last cold morning. Looking into the near future, we start to see those temperatures building. With clear skies right now, we're expecting that to stick around as we go into the next couple of days as we overlook the Connecticut River off towards West Springfield. A beautiful evening, albeit definitely on the colder side of things. So tonight dipping down into the single digits. You're waking up with some frost on the ground. Watch for a few areas that could be a little bit slippery. Tomorrow we're returning into the middle 30s. Notice that nice little increase as we go towards Thursday and Friday. Friday definitely the pick of the week with temperatures in the middle 40s. And then we turn our attention to Saturday. And what we're seeing, we're about 4.5 days out from this system. The timing and type of storm is what we're starting to narrow down the details of. Is this going to be a snowstorm, a rainstorm, wintry mix? That's what we're talking about. We'll show you the latest thinking with this storm in the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Chris and Beth?
Jacob, thank you. It's the perfect storm. Doctors say with so many illnesses circulating right now, local emergency departments and urgent care centers are swamped.
Well, some departments reporting double-digit hours-long wait times. Tonight we get answers on when to know, is it time to go to urgent care or directly to the hospital?
Very busy. We are seeing a record number of people.
At Bay State Health Urgent Care in Feeding Hills, physician assistant James Wheeler blames that record number on close to a dozen illnesses circulating right now in Western Mass.
There's 7 or 8 different things that are going around currently. We have flu A, flu B. We're pretty sure RSV, metapneumovirus. And we have a strep, we have a GI bug, we have a typical cold going around.
Wheeler tells Western Mass News with jam-packed emergency rooms, especially during peak times between 6 and 10 p.m. when doctors' offices are closed, Bay State is trying to get the word out to think urgent care first.
We are trying to get people, certainly during working hours, to come to urgent cares instead, just to take some pressure off of the local ERs.
In most cases, he says, the wait time is a fraction of what it would be at a traditional ER.
Maybe an hour or two, usually at the most, where in the ER, 8 to 10 hours is the norm, unfortunately, especially during the flu season.
But how do you know which way to go? In most cases, he says, urgent care providers and their resources can get the job done.
Typically speaking, any of the cold and flu symptoms we can handle. Including pneumonia in most, healthy, otherwise individuals.
However, there are times when going straight to the hospital is best.
If you're really sick, meaning that you have an extraordinarily high fever, or you're someone who is already have some, medical problems, older, elderly, or maybe a very young child, infant, then ER is more likely more appropriate. But for the most part, we can handle it in urgent cares.
If you're just not sure, Wheeler says, call your local urgent care center. Many will triage as best they can over the phone to point you in the right direction.
Well, we did check the hours of several urgent care centers in Western Mass. Most are open until 8 p.m. each day. Now, studies show the quietest times in the emergency room, as you might guess, are generally 3 to 9 in the morning.
Springfield police report an armed robbery happened at approximately 2 this afternoon. Officials say 2 men robbed a female delivery driver, striking her and the car with some type of metal object. The driver was treated for minor injuries. The suspects, meantime, got away with food. Detectives are investigating.
State police were called to Main Road in Montgomery around 3 o'clock this afternoon. They tell Western Mass News they were responding to an attempted house break-in. The Westfield Police Department's K-9 unit was called in to assist. They are actively searching for the suspect right now.